In today's Warzone gameplay breakdown, I'm fixing the most ignored skill in Warzone coaching. Most players can win a 1v1, but when I review gameplay, mine or subscribers, there's one mistake that loses team fights over and over again: timing. In this high kill win, I'm going to show you where I messed up, how these mistakes almost cost the game, and exactly how I fix them so that you stop losing fights that you should be winning. When you're in aggressive lobbies, you're going to see players push in a variety of methods, and this car push is so common. But if you notice the way that the player is looking, they're not in the correct position when they leave the vehicle, and I'm able to swing out and break their camera. Now, during this motion, I am also looking in this vicinity here where I don't see a retaliation enemy, which is good news because it means I don't have to fight more than one. Now that we've broken their camera, we finished killing him. The second that this player is thirsted, we are going straight to the minimap. And before we reload this weapon, we are double checking that there is not an enemy right on our position. I call this your rechow window. The rechow window has one rule: the best fight is the one that their teammates cannot respond to. What that means is, in this window of time, we can do a full reset of our plates if necessary, as well as a weapon, and gather further information. And this retaliation tactic is great for both offense and defense. Now I'm going to show you a few mistakes that I make in this gameplay, as well as how we turn it into an 18 kill win. So stick with me here. Now I'm going to rotate to high ground, change my position. In the meantime, I'm going to take out an enemy that is to our backside that is preventing us from purchasing our loadout. And I'm going to use the map to get to those kills faster. I'm not ignoring the threat behind me, but to be honest, our teammate is. They've thrown the loadout in the direction of the three enemies that we've already fought. And at this point right here, this is an extremely terrible mistake on my part. Now we're in trios with one out of the game, and we have a voice comm from Yellow as he goes down saying that there is three. I push up, grab my loadout, and immediately take out the first enemy. I am successful, but what I did not prioritize in that moment was cover. And I was completely in the open, and I was not respecting the fact that this was a very aggressive team that we've already provoked. In fact, that was the guy's name, Provoke, and he is right here back for his retaliation. Now, I can see it on the map that his other teammate is on my top left, so there is absolutely no way for me to reload this weapon in a sufficient enough time to fight two enemies plus replay. The only reason that we are still in this game is I was able to successfully thirst Mr. Casper. The moral of the story here is I did not account for the unknowns. I pushed an entire team last alive, no cover, with no information. It was absolute suicide. And I see this time and time again. I'm going to show you guys what happens to this team in the end game, so make sure you stick here to the end. Now moving ahead to the regain here, we find a guy hiding in the corner. There was no sign he was there. We're able to use movement to get out of the situation, switch to the proper weapon, and use corrective aim and defensive movement to take this player out. I have tons of videos on that particular content, so make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel and check out my other videos regarding those tactics. But once again, on the way over to the loadout is another scenario where this happens a lot because the game drops multiple loadout boxes together. It is a mechanic that is designed to keep players fighting, and some players will use this as a camping tactic, but others will use this as a source of information. As I can remember that this is here, I know that a player is going to visit it because it's still there. Simply put, if it was not accessible, players would not come back to it. But the fact that there's a second box there means that there is a strong likelihood that players are nearby. Aggressively pushing it when there's no gunfire, and we get a fly in. We're looking at that, but we are also paying attention to tracer rounds. which in this situation here, I have reviewed so much gameplay, and one of the things that players do, they hyper focus the fly-in. So they're looking here and they're completely disregarding the player that has a better power position and likely has their loadout. In all seriousness, the guy on the right is not the credible threat at this time. The guy on the top of the house is with a one-shot sniper rifle. So I'm going to respect that threat and I'm going to get some shots on that enemy and get back. In the meantime, I get surprised by a fly-in on that loadout with a new resurgence ping in the air. So falling back and giving myself time to rechow that, because this is the lost information that players are missing. If I just shot an enemy back here, there was a fly-in over here, and we still have a floater, as well as the guy that I just killed here. That means there's 2 teams, the potential for 6 additional enemies. Now we're in trios. We also had gunshots over here on the far left side. At this time, this is a hot zone. Now this is the path to getting more kills, but we have to respect that rechow window. Is every single time we knock somebody, we need to be falling back to the best possible way to take advantage of those retaliation enemies. If you're rechowing in the same spot that you last shot your gun, you are giving free information to the guys that are advancing on that position. So you need to be constantly thinking about that. As I've talked a lot about the nope moment, which is to discern whether or not something is a good fight. Now this is expanding that into where the decision comes from, is the steps that lead up to whether or not it's a good fight or a bad fight. The other advantage here is I am still inside the line. I can see the fresh fly-in, as well as I can see another player doing the exact same thing I'm doing with the hold. Notice I'm going to rewind that just a little bit. As soon as I knock this fly-in, this guy turns his head and starts working his way towards my position. So I'm going to get low, reset my ammunition, and I'm looking for him. Right here, he rips my teammate off a heady. Ripping him off that cover, throwing a grenade in his direction. While he's broken, I'm moving down to do the res. That again is decreasing their ability to re-challenge because they are now scared, outnumbered, and broken. Falling back inside the line, looking for information. 2 shots on top of the train, as well as shots to the right. This is very, very dumb. This uncoordinated stacking attack made it possible for me to knocked one, broke one, thirsted the other. Going back to the last known. Blue's pushing up. I once again am seeing 2 new fly-ins. Remember that we're still building this information live, but we still have 2 more dots. Break them on their entry. More dots to the right, looking for the guy in the blue suit, haven't seen him. Somebody takes out my teammate. Once I shoot, I've committed to this fight. I can't run away. I'm going to move up, break their camera, and track as best as I can. I want more information. There's too many teams here. I hear Wood. He opens door, running away. Check the corner. I was anticipating that. More players below. Notice how I'm falling back after each of these knocks, as I'm not staying in the same position, but the direction in which you reposition to is very important. I don't want to go towards the gas line. I don't want to go towards those 2 red dots. I need to be moving in the direction that the gas is pulling, away from the enemies, giving me the most re-challenge window possible, giving myself the extra seconds and the cover to complete the plates, the reloads, and listen for information. I hear water. Confirmed on the map. Teammates are going down. I'm not going to go down the same spot. I'm going to move towards towards the dot that I see on the mini map, and the guy in the blue finally makes a reappearance. I'm going to bait him in. He follows. He likely would not have moved inside if I had not done this maneuver. So repositioning has two purposes. It gives you some direct cover because I am completely broken at this point. The blue shield break screen's on, so he got a notification that I am completely broken. I have no plates in, and he's actually started to tick down my health. I don't have time to replate. I can now listen and see, based on the surfaces, which direction he's going to go. In the meantime, he encounters blue. I swing out to Rechallenge. Now I see very crucial information here that I have two teammates on the position. So I'm going to switch weapons because I'm anticipating to go close range contact. On the way, I'm going to put in a couple plates. He's trying to movement king his way out of the situation. I rapid buy the teammate so that they are back in the game to prevent the wipe and catch the glimpse of the guy going out the backside of the window. Sandwiching him between the pole was a last-ditch effort to stop getting collateral, but then I'm ignoring that knock and wiping the second guy. Once again, I'm going to show you exactly what I just saw to make that rotation. As soon as I thirsted both of those guys, his teammate is in the air, and if he lands in this vicinity here, I don't want to be in this path here while I have no plates in. Again, I am pushing my rotation that direction in case this guy lands in for an ego chow while I'm reloading, replating, and trying to get away from the gas. This pays off because I'm able to catch an audio cue of them on wood, break the player as they landed in, and blue's able to flank him out. Now moving ahead here, we rotate into mansion, and we're starting to work away at teams one at a time. We lose yellow, the resurgence is disabled, the closest buy station's in the courtyard, but we have a team on the roof. We have a bounty that is upstairs. So I'm going to cover blue's purchase and then immediately rework towards the inside of the building. I'm going to communicate to my buyback that it is hot and you need to get in as quick as possible. He doesn't make it all the way in the door. He gets completely knocked right before, but he's not able to get thirsted. I'm paying close attention to this bounty. Players on the what sounds to be on the banister right above me. Yellow's looting up and behind. I don't hear any gunshots back there, but I'm not 100% sure that we're not going to get flanked. So I'm respecting. I hear the audio. He overcommits, doesn't know there's three of us, costs him his life. I'm keeping money for late game buybacks, and I make a critical decision here. I don't communicate it with my team, and to blue, I'm completely sorry, but I hard split, take the zip to the roof. I am looking for that bounty that just expired. I am looking for players that were on the power position on top of the building. This gives me a lot of options. I can even look down through the dome at blue if necessary, but he's already shooting somebody outside. So my job is to clear the roof line. I hear footsteps down on the rock. Now, when you fold this technique into an endgame scenario, you have a lot of rechallenge ability. And what I mean by that is not only do you have the contenders from the same team, but you have now 4 teams fighting over a circle slide. So you have to be very careful about when you shoot your weapon, silenced or not. Tracer rounds are going to be seen, gunshots are going to be heard, and players are going to react to that. And they're going to also be making decisions on the circle slide, which we did not get. We are in a very unfortunate situation. Instead of helping blue in this situation, I am listening for the footsteps and I am taking care of the player that is on the far right because I am clearing my rotation for this pull. I eliminate another team from the game. We have 2 teams left. And information. We have 1 close to me, 1 far away, as well as 2 more right at the edge of zone performing a hold. Now this is not a great scenario. I want to help blue as best I can, but I also need to get in zone to make a late game play. The only thing I have going for me right now is I have cleared my right side rotation. So I'm not going to give that up. I'm able to finally kill the blue man. Blue and I are able to wipe this team, but now we have a team that's holding us in pond. He throws up a UAV. And they do the big brain play. They have buy station, they have zone, and they now have a precision to hold us. So the only thing for me to do is to get away from this precision and still maintain my cover. We have a stream in front of us, so the only place for me to go is to go right towards this bridge. I'm going as far right as I can. He's pinging, and I am setting up this mount. I want this guy out. I completely rip him. It's a 1v1. This is the rechow timing that I want to talk about here. Is I did not respect the information side and I waited too long. I was worried about them pushing me. Instead, they fell back and I let the gas push towards me. I hear 1 buyback. It's now a 2v1 for me. You do not want to give that enemy that's dropping in enough time to come assist them. I want the information of where they're at. I'm going to take them off the buy station, and I'm not going to do it during a mantle. I'm going to stay from the ground, and I'm going to rip them off that buy station. Once I get him off, I'm able to buy back. And now I'm attacking the guy that just landed in without plates and ground loot. I got both of my players back in the game, which is a 3v2 scenario. Now it's a 3v1. They're going to zone. I'm challenging. Got caught on the banister. Broke him. And blue is able to save the day. Guys, practice your timing window of those retaliations. It's not just about thirsting. Make sure that you're picking fights that you can actually win. And I also want to bring up something really important here. The Master Prestige from the beginning of the game finished 7th place. So running together and stacking is still not the answer. You need to play split like I did in this gameplay so that you can practice these timings and these resets more effectively. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And like I always say, keep building, keep adapting. SitRep out.